The day my father changed my life. In my younger days, life felt like an endless summer vacation. With my father's wealth covering every need, responsibility was a foreign concept. Why bother with studies or jobs when wishes were granted with just a word? When friends spoke of planning ahead, I'd just chuckle. Their worries seemed so unnecessary. My safety net was always there. Or so I believed. Every morning I woke up late. I ate breakfast in bed. I watched TV for hours. Sometimes I went out with friends. We ate at fancy restaurants, wore expensive clothes, and drove fast cars. Life was fun and carefree. I thought it would always be this way. I never thought about money. I never thought about a job. If I wanted to travel, I did. If I wanted new shoes, I bought them. If I wanted a phone, I got the best one. My father paid for everything. I never asked how hard he worked. I never cared about his business. I just enjoyed my life. I only thought about today, never tomorrow. Then one day, my father called me. He looked serious. He told me to sit down. He said, "Son, we need to talk." I smiled and said, "Yes, Father." But his face stayed serious. He wasn't happy. He wasn't joking. I felt a little nervous, but I didn't know why. My father was always kind. He never said no to me. But that day, something was different. He took a deep breath and looked at me. "You're not a child anymore," he said. "You must think about your future." I laughed. "Father, I have everything I need." He shook his head. "No, my son. You have everything because I work hard. But life doesn't stay easy forever. One day, things might change." I didn't understand. I thought he was worrying for no reason. I smiled and said, "Don't worry, Father. Nothing will change." He didn't smile back. He just stared at me for a long time. Then he said, "We'll see." I didn't know what he meant. I thought he was just in a bad mood. I stood up and left. I didn't think about his words. I went out with my friends. I laughed. I spent money. I had no idea my life was about to change. The next morning, I woke up late, as usual. I stretched and checked my phone. My friends had sent messages. They wanted to go out. I smiled, got ready, put on my best clothes, sprayed expensive cologne, and walked downstairs. But when I reached the living room, my father was there again. He was waiting for me. His face was serious. "Sit down," he said. I sighed and sat. "Father, I have plans," I said. He didn't care. He looked straight at me. "You're not a boy anymore," he said. "You need to learn about life." I rolled my eyes. "Father, I know about life." He shook his head. "No, you don't." Then he said something strange. "Come with me." I followed him outside. He walked to his car. I didn't know where we were going. He didn't say a word. I sat beside him, confused. He started driving. The city looked different that morning. I saw people walking quickly. I saw workers cleaning the streets. I saw men selling food on the roadside. I had never noticed these things before. But that day, I did. After a while, my father stopped the car. We were in a part of the city I had never seen. The buildings were old. The streets were dirty. People looked tired. My father pointed at a man selling fruit. "Look at him," he said. "He wakes up before sunrise. He works all day. He doesn't rest. He doesn't complain. He works to feed his family." I stayed quiet. Then my father showed me a small shop. Inside, an old woman was sewing clothes. "She's been working for 40 years, he said. "She doesn't have much, but she works hard every day." I looked at her. She was tired, but she kept going. I had never seen people like this before. I had never thought about them. My father turned to me. "Do you see now?" he asked. "Life isn't easy for everyone. Some people work hard every day, but you, my son, have never worked a single day." I felt strange. I wanted to say something, but I didn't know what. I looked away. For the first time in my life, I felt small. I felt different. Something inside me had changed. We got back in the car. My father didn't speak. He just drove. I sat quietly thinking. The images of the fruit seller and the old woman stayed in my mind. My life had been easy, but now I felt different. I didn't know why. After some time, my father stopped the car again. This time, we were in front of a big building, his office. I had been there before, but only when I needed money. I never stayed long. My father got out. "Come," he said. I followed him inside. The office was busy. People were walking fast, phones were ringing, papers were everywhere. My father took me to his office. He sat down and looked at me. "Do you know what I do every day?" he asked. I shrugged. "You work." He nodded. "Yes, but do you know how hard I work?" I stayed quiet. He continued. "I wake up early. I make big decisions. I solve problems. I run this company, and I do all of this for you." I looked around. I saw tired workers, some typing reports, some on calls, some looking stressed. I had never noticed them before. I only saw the money my father gave me. I never saw how he earned it. I felt something new. Guilt. Then my father handed me a small notebook. "Starting tomorrow, you will work here," he said. I laughed. "Me? Work?" He didn't laugh. "Yes," he said. "You'll start at the bottom. You'll learn." I was shocked. "But I don't need to work." He shook his head. "You do. Because one day, I won't be here. Then what will you do?" I didn't know what to say. I had never thought about life without my father. I had never thought about the future. I had only cared about my own comfort. But now, I had no choice. My father had decided. The next day, my life would change. The next day, I would work for the first time. The next morning, I woke up early. It felt strange. I was used to sleeping late, but now I had to work. I got dressed and went downstairs. My father was waiting. He handed me a small bag. "Your lunch," he said. I was surprised. "Lunch? Can't I eat at a restaurant?" He shook his head. "Workers bring their own lunch. Today, you're a worker." We drove to his office, but he didn't take me to his big office. Instead, he took me to a small room with many desks. People were typing on computers. A man with glasses walked over. He looked serious. "This is Mr. William," my father said. "You'll work under him." Then he left. Mr. William looked at me. "Follow me," he said. He walked fast. I followed him to a small desk. "Check these papers," he said, placing a huge stack in front of me. "Find the mistakes and mark them." I stared at the papers. "All of them?" He nodded. "Yes, and work fast." I sat down and started. At first, it seemed easy. But after an hour, my head hurt. The numbers all looked the same. My eyes were tired. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. Everyone around me was working. No one was resting. No one was talking. This wasn't like my old life. This was work. By lunchtime, I was exhausted. I opened my lunch bag. Simple food. No fancy dishes, no expensive drinks. I ate quietly. The other workers ate quickly and went back to work. No long breaks, no fun talks, just work. I missed my old life. I missed my freedom, but I also felt something new, respect. These people worked hard every day, and now I was one of them. The afternoon was even harder. My back hurt from sitting. My hands were tired from writing. I wanted to go home, but I couldn't. Mr. William checked my work. He found mistakes. "Do it again," he said. I sighed but didn't argue. I started over. When the day finally ended, I felt different. I was tired, but something inside me had changed. For the first time, I understood how hard people worked. For the first time, I realized money didn't come easy. As I walked out, my father was waiting. He didn't ask about my day. He just smiled. And for the first time, I smiled back. Not because life was easy, but because I had earned that smile. The next day, I woke up early again. My body was sore. My hands were stiff. I had never felt this way before. I wanted to stay in bed, but I couldn't. I had work to do. I got dressed and went downstairs. My father was at the table. He looked at me and nodded. "Good," he said. That one word felt different. It felt like pride. At the office, Mr. William was waiting. He didn't smile. "You were slow yesterday," he said. "Today, work faster." I wanted to argue, but I didn't. I just sat down and started. The numbers were in front of me again. My head still hurt. My back still ached. But I worked. I didn't stop. By noon, I finished. Mr. William checked my work. He found fewer mistakes. "Better," he said. Just one word, but it felt good. Better than buying something expensive. Better than wasting time with friends. It felt real. I had never felt this before. At lunch, I sat with the other workers. They talked about their families, their problems. They laughed. They ate fast and went back to work. I listened. I had never thought about people like them before, but now I was sitting with them. I was one of them. The afternoon was tough. Mr. William gave me more work. "Let's see if you can handle this," he said. I wanted to complain, but I didn't. I just nodded. I focused. I worked. Hours passed. My back hurt. My hands ached, but I kept going. I wanted to prove I could do this. At the end of the day, Mr. William looked at me. He didn't smile, but he said, "Not bad." 2 words, but they meant a lot. My father was waiting outside. He looked at me. "Tired?" he asked. I nodded. He smiled. "Good." I finally understood why he made me do this. And for the first time, I didn't want to run away from work. I wanted to learn. Days passed, then weeks, then months. I worked every day. At first, it was hard. My body hurt. My mind was tired. But slowly, I got better. I made fewer mistakes. I worked faster. Mr. Williams still didn't smile, but he stopped complaining. Sometimes he even said, "Good job." Those words felt better than any gift I had ever received. I began to understand money. Before, I only spent it. Now I saw how hard it was to earn. I watched my father work. I saw him make big decisions. I saw him solve problems. I saw him run the company. I had never respected his work before, but now I did. He wasn't just a rich man. He was a man who built something with his own hands. One evening, my father called me to his office. He looked at me for a long time. Then he said, "You've changed." I didn't know what to say. He continued, "At first you were lazy. You didn't care about work, but now you understand." I nodded. He was right. I wasn't the same person anymore. I felt stronger. Then he surprised me. He handed me a small key. "This is your office," he said. I was shocked. "My office?" He nodded. "You're ready for more responsibility. You've worked hard. Now it's time for the next step." I held the key. It was small, but it felt heavy. It wasn't just a key, it was trust. The next day, I moved into my new office. It was small, but it was mine. I had my own desk, my own chair, my own work. I wasn't just a worker anymore, I was learning to lead. It wasn't easy, I made mistakes, I had bad days, but I didn't give up. I kept working, I kept learning. I wanted to be like my father. I wanted to build something of my own. Looking back, I laugh at my old self. I thought life was easy. I thought money was simple, but I was wrong. Life is work. Life is effort. Life is building something with your own hands. My father taught me that, and now I'm ready for the future. Not because I have money, but because I've learned how to earn it.